If you go to a church, be cautious. If you have a bad experience, go again. Because my first time I went to the church I went to, the Spanish church I still go to, I didn't like it. I was there just to please my girlfriend, just to be honest.
Yeah.
And then when I first saw that experience of something like that happening, I'm like, whoa, this is real.
I think it can happen to a lot of people sometimes, is they'll go to a church for the first time, and then just the lesson the preacher happens to be preaching is just a really hard lesson, like something nobody wants to hear. And so they hear that the first time, and they're just like, oh, they don't want me to be who I am. They don't, just something like that. And so they just don't go back because they didn't like what they heard. They want to hear something they like what they hear, which you don't want to hear what God says most of the time. It's not how you want to live a fun life. I mean, so they never go back.
But I'll say this, no matter if it's your first time going, if it's your fifth time going, it is directed towards somebody in that church. There's a reason why he is saying that. It's not an accident.
I would get that firsthand because we would always go to lunch after church and stuff, and different people every time would be like, could you preach a lesson about this next week? And they'll be like, if so-and-so's here.
And I'll use myself as an example real quick. I go to a church that I don't understand the language. I'm not understanding anything that's going on other than presence, right? And I was to the point where I was like, hey, babe, I want to go to a church that I understand, that I feel like my time is being worth it here, right? Because there was a point in time where that happened. And I kid you not, I just had this conversation before we went to church, not knowing anything, whatever. She didn't know anything either. And what happens?
English.
She's translating in English as she's preaching.
Whoa, wow.
I'm like, dude, that is the sign if I have to say so myself. Like, I looked at my wife and I'm like, and she was like, that's crazy. Like, it's like God reaffirming that I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm supposed to be there.